Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of The Harvest Season. My name is Al.
And my name is Codey.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games.
Woo!
That was a really long woo. Like it sounded like we were falling off a cliff there.
It's like when you're hugging a friend and you're like, who's going to end it first?
It's like the the Disney hug rule.
Oh gosh, no, I do not.
So the Disney hug rule, and I mean Disney have never confirmed that this is true, but when you watch some videos, it's pretty clear that it's true. The theory is that cast members at Disney are told that they are not allowed to stop a hug. So the kid has to be the one that decides when the hug ends.
That's horrifying. I would hate that.
So you just I've seen some TikToks of kids like hugging for like 3-4 minutes.
No.
And it's like, presumably, Codey, you would never want to do that job anyway, right?
I mean, I think it would be fun to because I did choir for a really long time and I have kind of a Disney voice in choir. I guess they don't ever really sing at Disney, but I always thought that would be super fun. But then I remembered I hate children, so.
Kind of an important thing for a job at Disney, I would think.
I also hate non-consensual physical contact, particularly with children.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I would say don't do that job, Codey.
Yeah, no,
that would be my advice to you. But yeah, I think it's very funny because the comments on these TikToks tend to be, oh, that kid really needed it. And I'm like, okay, sure, fine. It's just funny. Anyway,
sure.
I think the kids that actually need a hug probably aren't going to Disney because the parents aren't taking them. So,
well, and that's what makes me so uncomfortable. Like when, my little cousins or whatever, when I was with my ex, and they would come up and they would just hug my leg constantly, and I was like, I hate this because no amount of me hugging you is gonna make you feel better. Please let me go.
Wow.
But more importantly, transcripts are available in the show notes and on the website.
Woo! This episode, we're going to have our mid-year check-in. So this is something we started last year when we doubled the number of episodes. We got to the middle of the year and went, we've had a lot of episodes. Let's maybe see what the year's been like so far and chat about that. So I thought we would do that again because it's the end of... Is this autumn? Is that the current season?
Oh, that in the show?
No, we're spring. No, we're summer. We're in summer, I think. Episodes.
I mean, in the real, we're in summer.
No, I know what we are. No, we're in autumn. We're in autumn too. That's what we are, of course.
Okay. For the podcast.
So this is the last day of autumn. Next episode will be the first day of winter.
Can you hear my dog panting very, very loudly?
A little. Not a huge amount.
Yeah, no,
so...
cutie.
We're going to chat about the games that we've enjoyed so far from the year. Spoiler alert, apparently we've not played a lot of games from this year. We're going to talk about what we're most excited to talk about. What we're most excited to play for the rest of the year, because we've still got 6 months to go.
Gosh.
Or we've only got 6 months to go. I don't know which it is.
Simultaneously flown by, and also there's still 6 months. But this year is going way too slow for American listeners. So.
Before that, we have a bunch of news. Still so much news. Why is there still so much news? It's the summer. Stop giving us news.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, Codey, what have you been up to?
I have been doing research, but for video games, I've been still playing Power Wash Simulator. I believe I'm on the last thing of the story quest.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but that game has been very awesome. And then midway into me playing it, my landlord actually brought me a power washer. So now I can do it in the real too, which is great because here soon I'm going to have a void in my heart, that is Power Wash Simulator shaped. So I also started Cassette Beasts. So that was something recently when I noticed that I was going to have a void in my heart. I looked at what was available on Game Pass, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do Cassette Beasts. I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely Pokemon.
I have heard good things from some people.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice. I enjoy it. I don't know if that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, but I will continue to play it and see where it goes. So, yeah, those are the big things. Other than that, I've been working my coffee job and also doing Rover dog sitting. So that's me. What about you, Al? You're clicking furiously.
Yes, I'm not fishing in Farm RPG.
Oh, you're doing it on your computer.
Yeah. Did you know you could do that?
I did not. Maybe
that's dangerous for you to know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah. I just unlocked a new area to fish in. So
I was gonna say you're clearly on Farm RPG.
I am. Yeah. Sorry. Just give me. I've been working towards the thing that I've just unlocked for a week because I had to do 2,500 eggplants to unlock a specific runestone so that I could then get to a new area. So I'm suddenly like, oh, I can do this now, yay! Yep. But no, make
number
bad.
Go big, number get big, number.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing I've been doing a lot is Farm RPG. So I'm now making maybe like 100 to 150 million silver a day.
Crazy.
So yeah, a lot.
How many drinkings are you at?
Drinkings.
Bars.
Oh, the 99. Yeah, bottles of beer. I have completed 82.
Okay.
But that's taking ages to get to the next level because like my crafting is at like level 91, but my farming is down at 82, and it's just it takes so long to up the farming because you can't speed it up really. Mm-hmm. Like I've sped it up as much as I can, so I think it's like roughly they take about half the time now that they're meant to. But it's still like and I'm up to 32 plots. And to get another 4, I need 1 billion. So like that's going to take a long time to get there. But yeah, I've unlocked a lot of stuff, and I feel like I'm just grinding through the mid game now. It's just taking a long time.
Yeah, I mean it was a fun game though.
Yeah, it is fun, and I'm definitely not finished yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to stop yet. But yeah, we're getting there. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. What was the quest I was looking at? Can't remember. Fishing. Right. Yes. Sorry. I've closed the tab now. I've also been playing Go-Go Town and Starstruck Vagabond, and hopefully eventually I'll do episodes on both of those games because I feel like I've been playing both of them for ages and not done episodes on them yet. But time is a timing, so we'll get there.
Well, speaking of things being delayed and maybe doing episodes on things later, that's what we've been up to. Woo!
Time for the news. That's the problem with the segue between sections is it doesn't really work that well when you have to introduce the section. Southfield, the early access has been delayed. Woo.
Which this was like very close to release, right?
Yeah, it was like
supposed to be released
tomorrow. Yeah.
And they announced it on Friday.
Yeah.
So like 3 days before release.
Yeah, I always find these interesting because it's like they only actually announced the release like 2 weeks ago. To give the context, they've said the reason they're delaying is because of performance issues that people have found in the closed beta. But they've been running the closed beta for months, and they announced the early access date 2 weeks ago. And this is when they've gone, oh, we're not actually going to do that. So it's like, I'm not saying that delaying is a bad thing. It just feels like I'm confused by their timing of all of this. Mm-hmm. And like, did nobody say anything about the performance in the first multiple months of the closed beta?
No.
Or did they think they'd managed to fix it in time? Or I don't know.
So yeah, it says that there a recurring problem being performance, and then in response we implemented a new way to make the game run more smoothly, which worked well. So I'm assuming that they were like, oh cool, we're good, but the caveat is created lots of complex issues over the past few weeks. So I think they like probably felt like they had solved that issue, but then all of these other issues kept cropping up. Not entirely sure what those are.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, you know, it would be better for you to not perfect, but like address those issues before release. Though it was very interesting to me that they say safeguarding our devs is very important to us.
Yeah, that's about crunch. They don't want to.
Oh,
crunch.
okay. I was like, are people going to like attack them?
No, so they say the last thing we want to do is put enormous pressure on them to fix these issues for launch and beyond. Safeguarding is our devs very important. So yeah, they don't want to crunch basically, which is good. We don't want them to crunch either. Do not crunch.
Yeah, nope. That's not how things work.
Well, it is how things work. That's the problem. It's not how things should work.
Things work. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually really happy about this because I was getting very stressed about Southfield coming out tomorrow because long-time listeners will know that I go away for a month in the summer and like that's in a month's time. So like I wasn't figuring out how, I had no idea how we were going to cover this game, and I really wanted to cover this game when it came out as soon as I could. So hopefully it's delayed till at least the second half of August. That's when I would like it to come out, because then it's much more sensible timing for us, and we can get a good episode for it. And yeah, because Go-Go Town came out before it, so obviously I was going to pick that one up then. It came out like a week ago or something. Was it a week and a half maybe? I lose track. I could just look at my list, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I'm trying to see what all it's on.
What's that, Southfield?
Go-Go Town.
Go-Go Town. Oh, I think it's just on Steam. I don't know if it's on Mac.
It says Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but it's not out on them yet because it's in early access.
Okay.
So it's only on Steam so far.
Yeah, it's not compatible.
And I will say, the Go-Go Town team, have been very good at responding to issues. There was a really fun issue that crashed the Steam Deck, which was really impressive. But like, yeah, so playing the game would be fine, and then I would put the Steam Deck on sleep, and then I would wake it back up, and I would play for a little bit, and then the game would just crash, and the entire system was dead.
Woof.
So I would have to like hard reset it and then come up, and then I would have lost some progress. And interestingly, it didn't seem to be like tracking the amount of time in game. So like Steam says I've played for 6 hours, but I've definitely played for like 11 or 12 hours, I'm pretty sure. So it was like not tracking that time. But anyway, they fixed that issue, but then that broke a different issue on the Steam Deck, and I tweeted them, and then they fixed it the same day. So they're very responsive.
That's good.
And yeah, that's going really well. But I'll talk more about Go-Go Town in a future episode.
Sweet.
Speaking of future episodes and past episode, Hello Kitty Island Adventure is finally coming to Switch. Woo! And also PC and PlayStation, but Switch. Woo!
Woo!
So it's not coming out till next year, early 2025. I suspect Q1 for Switch and PC. They said that Switch is a console exclusive, a timed console exclusive. And then I suspect PlayStation like Q3 maybe, but we'll see. Excited. They announced this in the Nintendo Direct, if you've not seen that. And, you know, obviously it's still a bit away, but I'm very excited that they've actually finally said it's happening because, like, when me and Maddie were talking about it in the episode, we're like, yes, Apple Arcade exclusives do sometimes come to other things, but we don't know if they are actually planning on doing it, and if so, when and how long. Because, like, obviously they sign a contract with Apple saying that they'll be exclusive for a certain amount of time, and it could be years. We just didn't know. Now, it does look like that might have been 2 years if it's coming next year, because it came out last year. But yeah, we'll see. Exciting.
Yeah, it sure looks like Animal Crossing. But Hello Kitty. Yeah,
it feels so. It's been a while since we've done the episode, but like, it doesn't. It's less Animal Crossing, certainly less New Horizons. I guess maybe it's more like New Leaf in so much as like you're not making the town.
Yeah.
right? Like you don't decide where houses are and stuff like that. You can like you design inside the houses, I think, but I don't think you get to decide like where things are and stuff. Like the town is defined. The buildings are where the buildings are, and you build them, but you build them in so much as there is a plot and it says build a house here, and you go yes please, and it's built. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. Are you going to play it when it comes out?
We'll see where my debt's at that point.
Fair.
Also, next year is when I'm going to try and graduate. So I might be tearing my hair out.
Cool. Don't know what to say.
Another game that I may or may not play is our next one, which is Harvest Days.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever looked at this game or seen this game before.
We definitely have talked about it before. I think early access came out. It was maybe late 2022. Mm-hmm. I think it's a family that develop it. I think it might be husband and wife. It might be father and son. I can't remember.
It sure is just farming simulator, but a cozy version, though.
Yeah, it's quite simplified, like person character models, and a few kind of things are clearly a little bit simplified, like the kind of buildings and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like the trees, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Like certainly there's like areas of like trees and grass that look quite nice, and the animals look interesting, kind of balance between cartoony and real, I think.
Yeah, I think that me saying farming simulator but cozy is meant to be a compliment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because farming simulator, they go hard. So having it basically kind of be the quality of that, but be a little bit more of a cartoony or illustrated feel, looks really interesting. And the 1.0 is coming on July 25th. And it's also coming to consoles on that day. Yeah,
they just like that was just like a hey, but we're also coming to consoles on that day. Like I don't think they really talked about consoles before. So honestly, impressive. I guess we'll see how well the console versions run, because obviously they'll be using porting companies and they can be hit or miss depending on which one you have, as we found with Stardew. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because like it'll either be really impressive launching on everything at the same time, or issues on the consoles. I guess we'll see.
Please be on Game Pass.
I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. But random things come to Game Pass, so I'm never.
Is that how you play games now? You only play Game Pass games?
Yeah, so anytime I'm feeling a void in my life, I go to the Game Pass page, and I'm like, and I have this is what I wanted to play later page, and then I go to that.
Nice.
And then see or like anything that's new or popular or something. Like Coral Island was on even though I wasn't going for Coral Island, I was like, oh, there it is. Bam. Okay.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Next, we have Natsumon 20th Century Summer Vacation, which up until this point is a Japanese exclusive on Switch, I think. They have announced they're coming to Steam, and on the Steam page, it says in big letters in English, the only English on the page, it says English will be available on August the 6th, 2024. Mm-hmm. They also announced there was a DLC for the game, but that's all in Japanese, so I'm not going to talk about that just now.
And then Gematsu on Twitter said that they they'd emailed the developers, which are Spike Chunsoft, to find out if that means that the Switch version is also coming to English. And their response was that they don't have any information to share.
Yeah, you would think that they would do it, right?
Yeah,
surely.
Some people are thinking that there's a couple like game, not like direct style things like happening in Japan soon.
So they might announce it in one of them.
Yeah, so they don't want to announce it to Gematsu, but it might be announced in something like that. So yeah, I don't know.
I need to double check, because I'm pretty sure the last one also did the same thing, where they just came out in Japan and then they released on Steam and released the English language as well. I can't remember what that one was called. Look, their game names are just so complicated.
If I could find it before you. Oh, Shin-chan, Me and the Professor
Yeah, that one, I think.
on summer vacation.
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
is Natsumon Shin-chan?
So, yes. No. I don't know.
Oh.
So this is the... So it's... I believe no, but maybe? Okay, so Shin-chan is not the same thing, but it's a spiritual successor to
Okay.
Summer Vacation. But now there's also the new Summer Vacation game. Maybe? It's really hard because there's so little information on these games and actually in English.
Is it one of the Boku no Natsuyasumi games?
The new one, this new one is, yeah, but not Shin-chan. It's not technically the same.
Okay.
So Shin-chan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation, I don't think is technically... Yeah, so it's, Wikipedia says the game has been described as a spiritual successor to Boku no Natsuyasumi, My Summer Vacation, but not the same. This was definitely the game I was thinking of, so I didn't realize it wasn't actually an official Boku no
Natsuyasumi, yeah.
I need to get Mika on the podcast to tell us because he knows. He knows all about all these games and which one is what, and so I need him to explain this to me.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll leave it to Micah.
It's all right. We'll definitely be having him on in the next couple of months, but I won't spoil what for.
Okay. Is it for Natsumon 20th Century Summer Vacation?
I said I'm not going to spoil it. Come on.
You have no information to share.
I have no information to share. It's right. I have no information to share, but I'll also put some information somewhere else.
Okay, cool.
Because it's like the Steam page saying, "Oh, this is happening," and they're like, we have no information to share.
Right.
Okay, sure.
I'll watch
whatever.
your Steam page.
Roots of Pacha have a 1.2 update coming out on July the 31st, which is also the same day the Xbox release comes out.
Yeah, the Roots of Pacha. Again, I'm excited to see if this will be on Game Pass, because then I'll start a new save. Though I guess I have it on Switch, so I guess I could just play it on Switch. Or did I play? I don't remember how I played this game. The update has a lot of really cool stuff. There's an update to the pets system, and some of them you can upgrade to be a mount. And in that, it said that there's a giant cave spider. And I am shook because I didn't know that there was a giant cave spider in this game as a pet. I now...
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. There's also a new way to water. So instead of having to water everything, they basically have a sprinkler, but it's not a sprinkler. It's a thing called an Ola, where you just put water in the central thing, and then it waters the surrounding 8.
Yeah, so this had like irrigation lines, I think, previously, which was the only way you watered. So this is just a new option for watering, which is cool. Also, child labor.
Yeah, you want to expand on that?
So yeah, I find this really funny because I was just like scrolling through it all, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, animals, that's fine. Oh, there's some stuff about the school, cool, and then the learning. Oh, what's a learning station? Let's see. After building the school, you'll get a learning station that can be placed in the fields, affecting a 7x4 area. After adding some contributions, the children will check it every morning to clean affected sheds and talk to the animals living inside, water and harvest plants, refill ollas, pump irrigation pumps, harvest honey, and harvest trees. So yeah, that's child labor. Woo!
It also coincides with the they have a new like development stage for your child. So they go from being like a toddler to a school age student, and then school age child. So they go from being useless to being mildly useful, which is why they've added the labor, I guess.
They've gone from being an inconvenience to being mildly useful.
An energy suck.
And that's not what happens with actual children, right? Even if they are useful in some ways, they are still a drain on you emotionally and physically.
I thought you were going to take it the other way. I thought you were going to say that's not what happens. They're very loving, even when they're inconvenient. You still love them very much.
Well, yes, but They are
always
also a
suck.
drain on you emotionally and physically.
That's true. That's true.
I love my children.
Yep.
I love them most when they're sleeping.
That's yeah. There are very few kids I like, and then yeah, and there's just such a gamble about whether or not I would like them. So I'm just not gonna have
Children are a gamble. Great.
a gamble. You can also other things that were added in this release, midday saves. So before, if you wanted to save in the middle of the day, it would like end your day. So now you can say, "Oh, I just want to save and like keep playing," versus saving.
I wonder why they've restricted it to your bed when you don't have to go to sleep now. That seems like a weird, like, you can save at any point in the day, but you have to go to your bed to do it.
You nap.
But they're not napping. They're just saving. That's it.
You just go rot in bed for like an hour.
But they don't. I'm watching it just now. They just stand next to it. It saves, and then you're still standing there.
This is what I do.
Like, what? I don't understand. Like, either you think that it's an important part of your game loop is that you have a day and it saves between them, right? I personally, I think we're past that, and I don't think you should just do that. But like, or you let people save whenever.
Yeah.
From a menu. Like, why this weird halfway house?
Yeah.
Like, because then you get into the whole, oh, well, we don't want people to like save scum. And I'm like, I don't care. Why do you care what people are doing? Like, because they can still do that with the whole game, the whole day.
People enjoy things.
Yeah, it just seems like such a weird restriction. Like, if you think that you should only save at the end of the day, fine. I think that's silly, but fine, go for it. If you're going to allow people to save whenever, allow them to save whenever. Don't put artificial restrictions on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they didn't want to add an extra menu. That's what it feels like, right? They have the menu already to go to sleep, so they just added an extra item in the menu, and they're like, "There, done, happy. Stop moaning at us." That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. Another thing that they added was some different relationship mechanics. So it sounds like now you can say when you only want to date one person, versus you also can like have it so that people don't tell others that you're dating.
Yeah, this is weird, right? Because they did already have unions, right? They're not new. They already existed in the game. But something has changed. And neither of us have played the game, I think, enough to actually understand what's changing here.
I never went to it. I never got to the union stage.
So, I don't know. If you wanted to do something with relationships that you couldn't do, maybe you can do it now.
Most important thing, you can smooch at your wedding. There's also a few new languages, Korean being one of them. I don't remember the other one.
Oh, yes. Traditional Chinese.
But the most important thing, they had some small quality of life things, and one of them is to have a transfer all or transfer matching options in storage boxes and inventory. I love this. I love, like, if you have something in your menu or in your inventory and it's in the storage box, and you can just be like, transfer the stuff that is already in there that is in my, like, just get it out of my.
I use that feature in Stardew all the time. It's like, especially in Stardew when you have like such limited boxes, right? You go up to a box, you click the button, you go to the next box, you click the button, and it's like half your inventory's gone. It's great.
Yeah. It also says that there's new sorting methods, which is great as well.
Do they make any more sense than the Stardew sorting methods, maybe?
I don't know. I've never used the Stardew sorting method. It's something that from playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, I really like the way that you can sort and do your inventory stuff in that game. So I like seeing that in other games.
Cool. Next we have Chilltown, who have a new update, the auto farming update, which is coming out on the 28th of June. Fully automate watering and harvesting. So I don't know. Have you watched the video for this, Codey?
I did. So the way
I was so confused by this because I was like, oh, so they've got like sprinklers and like the equivalent of Junimos or whatever. And then I watched the video and like it appears you like press a button and you go automate farming and your character goes and like waters each individual crop and harvests it.
Yeah. I mean, I love this. I love this idea that it's like, okay, I'm going to go farm. Let me do that. And while I do that, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Well, this is the thing. This is just like
Read something.
I don't understand what like this is weird. Like I don't
Chill town. You're chilling. You just watch the gameplay itself.
well, this is the thing. I don't understand. So you're not playing the game. Like
You were up to that
and
point.
I don't mean right. I don't like you should do all these things manually. People will know I love automation in games. I love it. But for me, the automation in games, it frees you up time in the game to do other things. This is not doing this. This is just means you press one button and you leave it, and it does the same thing over and over and over again.
It frees up your time in the real.
I don't, but I no,
It's like
but
Rusty's retirement.
but like, I don't
love it.
understand this at all. Rusty's retirement is different, right? Because that the whole point of that game is you are telling somebody, "Hey, these are the things that you do," right? Like you're not actually controlling him; you're telling him what to do. This is completely different. I don't understand why anybody would want this feature. It seems weird to me. I don't understand it.
I love it. I really like multitasking. And one thing that I get stuck with in Power Wash Simulator, for example, is I put on my little silly little audiobook. I wash powerfully, and then I get 4 texts, and I'm like, for, a couple of texts from different people or a message or something, like an email, and I'll be like, oh, I'll check that once I finish this wall. And then an hour and a half later, I've finished the entire building, and I check, and I have 10 messages.
Yeah, I don't think
And
this
I'm
is going to
just like,
solve that problem for you, Codey.
It will, because so it's like, oh, time to harvest my stuff. Click auto harvest, check all my messages.
No, but you're not going to do that. You'll just get distracted by something else instead.
No.
This is not going to solve your ADHD, Codey. That's not what this is going to do. And I can't, it's not. I can't imagine ever wanting to do this because what am I doing while that's happening? I'm not going to sit staring at the screen. I'm just going to go TikTok. Like,
I'll like play with my dog. In between
This is-
this is when I'll like get her. I'll either check my messages or I'll be like, go get your ball. And then we like throw the ball for a little bit while it's happening.
I love automation. This is not it. I don't understand it. And if you are excited about this, sure, fine. I'm glad for
Chilltown,
you.
you do you.
I don't.
You do you.
I don't want it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you know what? It's a toggle and you don't have to do it.
I know, but like,
What I've been...
give me proper automation is what I'm like. I was excited and now I'm confused.
Maybe that's the next thing.
Maybe. I do think
speaking of the
the
next
automating.
thing-
Well, no, just before that, it did look like they had automated fishing as well. Now that because when they went into the auto menu, let me just double check. Yeah, they've got auto fishing. Now that does sound interesting, but we'll see. I've still not played this game. It's on my list. We'll see. Sorry, I'll let you do your segue now.
Next on our list,
Okay.
Disney Dreamlight Valley is pulling me back in.
Oh no!
Just in time.
Disaster.
For me after Power Wash Simulator ends. They're gonna have a new update called the Lucky Dragon update. It looks like it's adding Mulan, Mushu, possibly some other cherry blossom items as well. Because there's a lot of cherry blossoms in the picture, and you have some cute outfits that you're wearing that have a lot of cherry blossoms on them. This
Is there a link there? Is there a link between Mulan and cherry blossoms?
I don't. I mean, like they talk about blossoms, like the perfect flower, and how not every flower is going to be perfect or whatever in the movie. I'm pretty sure.
It does look like the cherry blossom in the movie. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And then also like in the
It's been a while since I've watched it. All I care about is the song.
You got to be more specific. There's
No, I do not need to be more specific. Come on.
some good songs in that movie.
Yeah, I know, but there's one that's the best, and you all know it. You're all singing it now.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a yikes. I mean, it's a good song. It's called the Lucky Dragon update. It's coming on June 26th. So I think by the time this is out,
The day it comes out, yeah, same day.
the day you are listening, If you were listening to this, it's out.
So you'll know more than us because it's out now. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of updates,
play it much.
Smooshy Come Home have a new update, the Heart of the Forest update, and this adds some post-game content. It's out now, and it adds some new areas, some new skins, and some new mushrooms.
Woo!
Yeah. It looks like a pretty decent-sized update for the game, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Sprout Valley, speaking of small games that have pretty decent-sized updates, Sprout Valley have their summer update. I think it was actually technically called like Summer 2024. They've not got very imaginative names with their updates here. That adds some new biomes, sand, stone, and jungle. Some new resources, cactus and bamboo. New fish, sandfish, stonefish, and jadefish. And new pets and pet buffs to increase their speed, travel, luck, and energy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, this feels like it might double the size of the game based on what I played.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. The fish are exclusive to the biomes. I'm assuming cactus is in sand and bamboo is in jungle. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Updating games. Woo.
Woo! Speaking of updating games, Research Story is now officially Steam Deck compatible. Woo.
Does this make it more likely that you'll play it?
Yeah, theoretically. I feel like they already added controller support. That's really, like, when they say, like, playable, there's when Valve say whether a game is compatible with the Steam Deck or not, they have, like, 5 things that they say, and of the 5 things, only one really matters, and that's controller support. The other ones, they might be annoying, because it's things like text size, right, which isn't a huge issue for me. I've got pretty good eyes, and it's things like, does it have its own keyboard, or do you have to pop up the keyboard and type in yourself? And like, realistically, these games don't have a lot of cases where that, so I don't really care if once every 10 hours of game I have to pop up the keyboard manually and type something in. That is not the end of the world for me. So yeah, so the 5 things are: the game's default graphics configurations performs well on Steam Deck. That's reasonably important, right? But for most of these farming games, unless they're like big 3D stuff, they're probably fine like that. The game shows Steam Deck controller icons. Yeah, important. But is not the end of the world if it doesn't, right? All functionality is accessible when using the default controller configuration. That is the one that I care about.
Yep.
Right, that's it.
Yep. And those are the 3 that Research Story has. The other 2 are still needs to be worked on, I think. But
yeah. But like, these will probably be really tiny things, right? Hey, tiny text.
I get it.
Because
it's small and maybe difficult to read, I guess.
And so, like, but this is the thing. It could be one word, right? Like, and they check everything. So if there's one thing that is small and difficult to read, then it's marked as, and most of it is readable and it's perfectly fine. And it's like, yeah, I don't. And the other thing is, the game supports Steam Deck's native display resolution, but does not set it by default, and may require you to configure the display resolution manually. It's like, okay, I don't care. Like, oh no, I need to go into the settings once. Okay, great, fantastic. And yeah, the other one that's not listed here is the keyboard, because presumably that it does have its own keyboard now. But sometimes they'll pop up and say, oh, you might need to open the keyboard to input text, and I'm like, that's fine. That's not the end of the world. It's not great. I mean, the Steam Deck keyboard is not a good keyboard. It is a really slow, bad keyboard. So in-game keyboards are always better than that. But like, it's not like I'm playing text-heavy games ever. So yeah. But yeah, it's they added, as I say, they added controller support like last year, I feel like. So nothing that they've added here makes me more likely to play it, I don't think. But it's always good when they're fully compatible. So yeah, good fun.
Cool.
Farmagia. This is This is the game that was announced by Marvelous. Technically, a year ago, they announced it as Project Magia, but then they told us nothing about it. And then this year, they announced it again as Farmagia and told us very little. All they did was, hey, here are the hot anime people. Um, and then in the Nintendo Direct, suddenly we actually got some gameplay. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So it looks like you are, as I suspected, you are farming and then harvesting your monsters. And it's really interesting because there are, like, you see, it seems to be like you have like tens of monsters. It's not like ooblets where you're like you grow like and you have like 5 of them in your party. Like this guy's walking around with like 30 foxes.
I know.
And it's like, okay, this is suddenly very interesting. Like, oh my word, let's get like 50 of our monsters and attack this massive dragon. I am very interested in this now.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter said Pokemon, but make it fairy tale. So if you've seen the anime Fairy Tale, that's what the person thought. I also thought the monsters growing from plants was really interesting. Like the fox, when it's a plant, it looks like a corn plant, and it looks like it's just the tail that you can see, and the tail is all bushy and kind of looks like corn.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
It's a weird decision to make, I feel like. It's like, yeah, they look like food, but they're animals.
There are resources.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued. It feels like it might be quite a deep and detailed game, right? Because it's an RPG. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, that's all you. And if you want to cover that game, I can cover the next game with Johnny.
Okay, right. Let's get into this then, shall we? So, Tales of the Shire. I feel like I get whiplash with this game. Like, so
What?
I don't know whether I'm excited about this game or not. I can't explain it, but there's something about the game that makes me go, this is a bit weird, and I don't know what it is. I mean, the character models I think are a bit confusing to my brain. Like, it's not like they look bad, right? I'm not trying to say it's not like, oh, bad graphics, right? And I don't need people coming in and going, oh, it's because of the Switch. I don't care. Shut up, right? One, the Switch can clearly have good graphics, right? Have you looked at Breath of the Wild? Come on, let's get serious. It's not that they look bad. It's not that they're like low quality. It's just there's something weird about them, and I can't describe what it is.
Well, I think that, so for me, they feel chibi almost, but also they're hobbits. So
it's not the proportions to me that's confusing.
Okay.
Right? Like the proportions look like what I would expect from hobbits, right? Because they're hobbits.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if it's their facial expressions. I don't know.
Well, so maybe I will cover it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to have to see. Like, I'm not saying I won't play it. I will play it, of course.
Yeah, there have been a lot of sneak peeks on different sites. We looked at IGN and watched the IGN one. Looked really cool to me. I saw it sure has farming and cooking and fishing. I'm curious to see what more it is than
I don't think it is. I think it's trying to be exactly what you expect it to be, which is Stardew but hobbits. I think I wouldn't expect any more. I would almost be a bit disappointed if it was more than that, because it's Tales of the Shire, right? Like, it's not Lord of the Rings, it's not The Hobbit, it's Tales of the Shire, and the Shire is meant to be the place where things don't happen.
But they also don't have, like, at least we never really saw, like, mining or anything. Like, everyone there was a farmer.
Yeah, it's the Shire
or something. So, like,
they're not going to be mining. They're
But Stardew has, like, other things. It also has kind of a magic system underneath, like the Junimos and all of that. Like, what, and like a community center and stuff. Like, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to be built up more. I'm going to play it. Hundo
I see what you mean. But... So we've got, so in terms of like game loops, right? You've got the primary game loop, which is the same as Stardew, right? You're planting things, you're watering them, you're growing crops, right? That's your primary game loop. And then your secondary game loop is you've got villagers and you're kind of building relationships, blah 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 blah. But in the tertiary game loop in Stardew is you are making your farm bigger and you are exploring other areas. What is that in this game? That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to exist. I mean, I think
you might be right.
Explore the Shire, but you're not going to have more land suddenly.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be, I think the IGN article says at one point, it says it's a zero stakes, relaxing time spent in the Shire. And I think that's what it is. I think that's exactly what it is. You might have like trading, right? Like there might be some form of trading.
Yes.
So
I'm expecting that.
But I think that's probably it. You've got your cooking and you've got your farming and you've got your relationships. But it does seem like that's it.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's still far off. There's still a lot more to it. So that can be seen. I think I'm also reticent, but I also know that because it's a Lord of the Rings property, or like it has to do with Lord of the Rings and even tangentially, I'm going to play it. So it's fine. I'm going to be looking for those Easter eggs if they got anything from the Tolkien estate that they can put in there.
Yeah, I suspect. So we see at some point there's someone that looks like it could be Gandalf or it's a wizard of some kind, right? Like clearly very tall person with a wizard's hat on. So who it exactly ends up being, not sure. I'm not sure of the exact timeline. So this says it's after The Hobbit, but before The Lord of the Rings. So Gandalf is around.
It has to be. I mean, it can't. So there's only 5 wizards. So, and Gandalf is the one that interacted the most with the hobbits. So it has to be Gandalf. But
yeah, probably. But I wouldn't put past them to do weird stuff, right?
Yeah. Cool. Well,
but I guess my point is there might be more visitors.
Yeah.
So I could see that as being maybe something like, you know, maybe you get some dwarfs arrive and some elves arrive at some point or something like that. And they're just Bilbo. Passing through or something. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing. Will Bilbo be around? Because if it's after The Hobbit and before The Lord of the Rings, he is there.
He's there.
So are we going to meet him or not? I don't think there aren't very many hobbits that we know of before The Lord of the Rings, right?
There's also, they talk about some of them that have done heroic things, like something a long time, I think it was Bolrortuk, a long time before had, in the Goblin Wars, had like kicked the Goblin King's head off and invented golf is what how the story goes. So like they've not done nothing and they've been there.
Yeah, that's probably not someone that would be around at this time, though. That's the thing.
No.
That's why I'm wondering, are there any other hobbits that we know of that could be around at this time?
The Sackville Bagginses, but no, I mean none that like are. Oh, we could meet like the parents of Frodo. And
yeah, because we don't really know much about them, do we? Mm-mm. It's been a long time since I've read the books, and I've not read any of the expanded books. And I've obviously watched the films and the new series, the Rings of Power series, but like my knowledge is very like confused because it's so long since I've done a lot of this stuff.
Not sure.
Well, okay, we'll see what happens. But you're right. Interested to see if there's more or not. But it's good that we're actually seeing some gameplay. Like, you know, we've seen basically nothing up to this point. The trailer had just some cutscenes showing the area with the graphics and stuff. So we'll see. We also have 2 new games that have been announced. So one is Lou's Lagoon. This is an open world adventure about running a seaplane delivery service. Collect, harvest, fish, craft, and trade goods. And they have a Kickstarter coming soon. Mm-hmm.
And on the Kickstarter, it has a Steam symbol with like a check mark and then all the consoles with question marks. So I'm wondering if they are
That stretch goals, probably.
stretch goals. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is Tiny Roar, the company. They have done a bunch of games, including Into the Emberlands, which I think just released an early access. And they are also doing Wonderful, which we talked about in the last episode, I think. Oh wait, Wonderlands is... No, Wonderful is different from Wonderlands. Sorry, Wonderful. Wonder... Oh. No, that is now Into the Emberlands. They changed the name of it. It's confusing. Anyway, this isn't their first game. They've done others. There we go. We don't know very much about this game.
Nope.
But they say they've been working on it for a while, so cool. Pink hair is so common in games nowadays. The other game we've got new, which is Farlands. So the blurb for this one is, congratulations, you've bought your own planet, an agrarian rock at the edge of the galaxy that for some reason was practically being given away for free. So the time has come to leave your hectic, stressful life in an overcrowded metropolis for a more rural and rewarding life. It's Stardew story.
Sure, yeah.
This one is 2D farming game, standard Stardew, Harvest Moon style thing.
Yep.
It's kind of pixel art, but it is pixel art. It's not kind of.
art.
It is pixel art, but it's quite high definition pixel art. Like you can make out the pixels, but it's much less pixely than other pixel art.
I'm watching the developer play right now. And it's giving Stardew. It sure looks like Stardew. Gosh, the way he just watered those plants was wild to me.
Yeah. What organization were you doing there?
So how you're supposed to water plants is from top down or from bottom up. But he was going middle, bottom, top, middle, bottom, top. I was like, what the heck?
And also, like, the way he's laid them out is like a line of 3 and then a gap, and then a line of 3 and then a gap. And I don't mean like a 3 by 3, I mean a 3 by 1. Yeah. Right? It's such a weird, like, what are you doing?
But yeah, it looks a lot like Stardew. The one thing while I was sitting here watching him play a little bit that I thought was really cool is you use your spaceship to go between planets. So I don't know how big your planet is that he's currently scything the rocks and getting the rocks and the herbs and stuff, picking them up. But the like maybe you go to the other planets to explore or get resources that you cannot get on your own place. I don't know, but looks interesting. Sure is a Stardew clone. So yeah, it'll be on Steam PC only. It's releasing on July 24th this year.
Cool. Yes, and it doesn't say early access, so sounds like it's just straight into full release, which is rare.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the news. Only took us an hour to get through all the news. Woo-hoo. My word. Can we calm down with the news now, please? Because it's the summer. No. It's not meant to be too much now. We're 3 weeks after Summer Game Fest. That was the time for you to give us all the news.
Well, the direct was.
Yeah, Nintendo don't help, do they?
Yeah, no. So now that that's done, I don't know when the next big game release thing is.
Yeah, cool. Right, so we're going to get our mid-year check-in is what I'm calling it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about what we've enjoyed so far this year, if any of them have been games for this year. Anything out of those that might be in contention for a game of the year, maybe no, we'll see. Mm-hmm. And then what we're still looking forward to this year, which could be stuff that's not out yet, or could be stuff that we just haven't played yet because we're bad at this. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So Codey, what's your first thing that you've been enjoying this year so far?
First thing that I've played that absolute heck out of was Disney Dreamlight Valley.
A very 2024 game.
So it's been in early access.
Yeah, it came out of early access last year.
I'm trying to remember.
I'll have you know.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. I've been playing it a lot this year though, and they've had a lot of updates. So I think that was like a game that I have enjoyed so far this year. Maybe not one that was necessarily released this year. There have been a lot of updates that were released this year that I enjoyed, and I will continue to play it and continue to enjoy it.
Nice. Are you at the point where you're only playing when there's new stuff because you've done most of it?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So the new update will come out and you'll play it for 3 weeks and then you'll put it down again.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Speaking of games that did not come out this year, Al.
Stardew 1.6, I think you'll find, did come out this year. Thank you very much.
Stardew itself did not.
But 1.6 did, and it will be in contention for Game of the Year if we want it to be. I make the rules.
Oh my gosh. Is that something that you think is in contention for Game of the Year?
We're not at that part yet.
Oh, I thought we were doing this piece by piece.
Oh, I guess we can. Well, you didn't say anything about
rules.
Disney Dreamlight Valley, did you?
Well, you were pooping on it.
I'm just mocking you because it's
really
like we're just bad at playing new games is my point.
Yeah. I mean I don't think it would be Game of the Year.
It wouldn't qualify anyway.
Cool. So no. What about Stardew 1.6? Do you feel like that is something that
it probably actually shouldn't qualify, should it? Maybe we need to have a best update category because if we start doing any game that has an update can be Game of the Year, that's a lot of games.
Yep.
I've typically done like any early access, anything that comes out in early access or comes to 1.0 in the year can count. But yeah, feel like maybe the update version is a bit much.
Yep.
I've got 6 months to figure it out.
So your house, your rules.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like so this was the first time that I hit perfection in Stardew, right? And a lot of that I think is to do with the quality of life improvements we got in the update. And I never really played 1.5. I played a lot of 1.4 and 1.3, but I really didn't play 1.5. So I was playing all that content as well. So that helped, adds on a bunch of extra stuff. But yeah,
didn't you not hit perfection though because you didn't do something?
No. So I've hit perfection, but I don't have 100% of the Steam achievements. So,
right.
But you can check on Steam. I have the perfection achievement, but technically perfection doesn't include two things that the Steam achievements have. And one of the Steam achievements I don't have is the community center because of course I was doing the JoJo run. But you can't, that's not how perfection works, right? Like perfection is complete everything that's in your version of the game, right? Like it can't be do JoJo and do not JoJo. You can't do both of those in the same save.
I don't know why not. You can do that in Skyrim.
And I have done the community center in multiple saves. They're just all on the Switch. So at some point I'll boot up another save and do the community center. It probably wouldn't actually take me that long to do it again because I've played the game so much now. But the other two achievements I had were to do with the arcade games in the pub. Right.
Frontier, whatever. You gotta
complete it. You
gotta do it without dying.
So there's two achievements. One is just finish, and one is finish without dying.
So you just finish without dying, and then that gives you both achievements.
Oh yes, easy.
Just do it.
Why not just do it? Yeah, great idea. I'll just do it. Fun.
Yep, there you go. You're welcome. two achievements.
But thankfully, that wasn't required for perfection. Because I guess Mr. Chi obviously doesn't think that arcade games are worth it. I don't know.
Awful.
Which is funny because one of his things for getting chi gems on Ginger Island is to finish Junimo Kart with 50,000 on endless mode. So it's like he obviously does care about the games. He just doesn't care about your the other game.
Junimo Kart's the one that matters.
Clearly. Anyway, Stardew 1.6. I played so much of that game. Like, what did I get? Like 120 hours or something this year. So, yeah, I like Stardew. What can I say? And he just keeps making it better.
Yeah, there you go.
What's your next one?
My next one is Window Garden, woo, which did release this year.
Was that this year that it came out? Really?
Did it not? Am I wrong?
You're correct. No, you're correct. It did.
Okay. I did go through the Notion document and looked at what was in the 2024 folder. So.
That's why I've got it.
So yeah, the Window Garden was.
Oh, that was you and Bev that did that episode.
Yes. I think it's a very fun game. I don't think it hits all of the right notes to become Game of the Year for us, but it was very fun. I did have to uninstall it because I was spending too much time on it.
How many games have you done that with this year? Because it's also the same with Farm RPG.
Pretty much all of them, honestly. Though I still have Rusty's Retirement, and I actually still have my desktop on my laptop configured so that I can play Rusty's Retirement, because I had to move my my toolbar, UI bar, like to the side because it was in the way of me playing Rusty's Retirement. So I moved it to the side and I made it vanish. And so everything is still set up to be able to play Rusty's Retirement, but which I guess I'll just say is another one of my ones that I have enjoyed this year so far. I think I unlocked everything, and I unlocked the second farm, and then I have not played again since. I really just have not been on my laptop very much, or if I am on my laptop, because I'm not writing anymore. If I am on my laptop, I'm basically just entering into an Excel spreadsheet like every few minutes. And other than that, I'm looking down a microscope. So I don't really pay attention to my laptop when I'm doing specimens. So I don't have Rusty's Retirement. Yeah, so Window Garden and Rusty's Retirement. I feel like Rusty's Retirement could be, like, I feel like Johnny and I might put it up for Game of the Year, but everyone else is going to do something bigger and bolder. So
cool.
Yeah, what about you?
Nice.
What's your...
What's my next one? Starstruck Vagabond. Yeah, I've been enjoying that. I don't think it will be Game of the Year for me, but I've been enjoying it. Like, not that it's a bad game, and it's not that it's not a really good game. It is a really good game. There's just, I'm not sure why exactly, and it might be easier to explain in the episode when I cover it. But yeah, it's not Game of the Year for me. Mm-hmm. But it's very good, and I'm very much enjoying it. But Game of the Year is like another level, you know. Mm-hmm. But not much I can say about that because I'm not on the episode yet.
Yeah.
Does it count as me playing it? Yeah, it counts as me playing it, even if I've not done the episode about it yet. Soon,
TM. My last one is also not a 2024 game. But yeah, it's Coral Island. It's another game that I picked up this year for the first time and really sunk my teeth in, and then hit that wall of
such a frustrating wall.
Nothing more to do with the things, and no more So I've kind of paused on playing, which is good because I'm waiting for 1.1. So yeah, that's definitely could be up for Game of the Year.
Well, could it though? Because it's not a 2024 game.
The 1.1 is.
That'll be in the update. The Game of the Update year. The Game of the Year update. The update of the year. That's what I'm looking for.
There we go. Let's do Game of the Year and Update of the Year. We're just gonna start having we need
why not? Why not?
Music composition of the year.
Well, why not? Why not?
Let's do it.
It's a whole thing now.
Mobile Game of the Year. Yeah. Let's do it. So yeah, Coral Island is other game that I have been playing this year and enjoyed.
And my final one, not that I haven't been enjoying other games, but my final one of stuff that's actually come out this year, which is what I tried to restrict it to, is Cocoa Town, which again I haven't done the episode on yet, but I mean it's great fun just now. This is like why I feel like I've not had my game of the year yet because I don't think Go Town is it either.
Yeah.
Not because it isn't like I think it's I've had so much fun playing this game and I'll get into the details in an episode about it, but
Yeah.
it definitely feels like an early access, which it
Yeah.
is. But and I don't think 1.0 will come out this year. So I don't think not that I would never give an early access game of the year. I did try one year, I think, but I would struggle to give it to one that feels incomplete, which I know is the whole point of early access. But like,
Yeah.
you know how sometimes you feel this is like, I guess it's kind of the main reason why we wouldn't give. I mean, obviously, I was going to give it to Coral Island last year, but if I wouldn't, it would be for the reason that it feels incomplete, despite the fact that it shouldn't be. It's the same thing here. It's like everything that exists in Go-Go Town is great, but it definitely feels like there's a cliff that you hit, you know? So that would be my reasoning.
Well, that was on my still looking forward to list, but maybe I'll wait for 1.0.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I definitely have not regretted playing this game in early access. And I feel like it's the sort of thing I could come in just now and come in later and have just as much fun both times. But yeah, it's a good game. Cool. So we're going to talk about games that we're most looking forward to for the rest of the year. Obviously, you said Go-Go Town, so that's your first one. I mean, for me, it would be Southfield because it just is so silly and so different I think that's why I'm most looking forward to that one because it's just like it's so silly. I don't know what else to say, right? Like
The way
it's not just doing farming, but it's doing crazy all over the place, you know?
the way that they run reminds me of Fall Guys, and I know you love that game.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good comparison.
One that I'm looking forward to is Kamaeru Frog Refuge. It's very Usagi Shima, Neku Atsume, like those kinds of games. So I'm excited about that. And excited to see how they do it a little bit differently because I know you can like revise the whole wetland and stuff. So
nice. I think is the breeding in this one as well. I think
yes, there's also breeding,
which you don't get in Usagi-shima.
Correct.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
My next one would be Mika and the Witch's Mountain, which I feel like I've been waiting for years for. Not in a bad way. It's just like the anticipation.
Yeah.
And like it, depending on how well it actually plays, could be game of the year for me. We'll see. But yeah, it's promising, very promising.
I'm trying to go through my ones that have not released before I get to my updates. I mean, Tales of the Shire definitely is something, if it ends up coming out this year, is something that I'm looking forward to. Depending on how they hit it, that could be a game of the year in my mind. I know a lot of these other ones that I'm interested in would likely not be game of the year or might not be eligible for game of the year possibly. Or maybe not enough people are going to play them on the pod to crown them the winner, but Tales of the Shire has the potential. So.
Yeah, it depends. If we got Johnny on the episode,
make it you, me, and Johnny.
Yeah, I've got
or
this on.
Just, like,
I have this on my list as a question mark because it's like, as I said earlier, I'm unsure. you know, like it's just I'm just up and down a lot. It's not that I'm not excited about it. It's that I'm sometimes excited about it and sometimes I'm a little bit unsure. So
yeah,
we'll see where it goes. But I'm definitely going to play it. And yeah, if it is good, it's definitely got a good chance of getting there. But that's a big if.
Yeah, we'll see. My last one that is completely unreleased so far is not unreleased. It is a new game to this year. is Of Life and Land. Actually, Kamaeru and Of Life and Land are both released right now. So I could just play those. But Of Life and Land is the one that, another one that I really liked the look of, as we've covered it. And so I'm interested in giving it a shot. And yeah, maybe that'll be what I play on Xbox. We'll see, but not entirely sure at this point.
On to updates, I have Coral Island 1.1 on mine. Obviously, it's one of my favorite games, and hopefully this will make it actually a complete game.
Yep.
1.1 should be, they should call it the 1.0 update.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Definitely, depending on how things go. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if we are doing update of the year, I feel like Stardew 1.6 wins it. I don't think Coral Island could do enough in that one update to give us it, because the problem is that obviously Coral Island 1.1 will be an update that will have had less than a year since the game release.
Yeah.
You know, Stardew 1.6, 2 years after the previous update. You know, it's like so much in it that it's going to be hard to beat.
Coral Island, just make sure that my partner and or my dog can go outside, and you've got it. Stop making them. They're not my prisoners. That was also on my list. Another update that I'm really looking forward to. I have 2 games left, 2 updates, and they're both games that I've played already. First is Lens Island. This is a game that I played a long time ago, and it has come such a long way. And I'm very excited for the full 1.0 release, and wanting to see, you know, maybe even the multiplayer abilities of it and stuff, but just seeing where it's come from since when I played it, when it was just kind of a small little, it had its certain camera angle and limited everything. I could see where things were going to be added, but they just were not added at that point. So very excited with all the changes they've made.
Yeah, nice. And then I have 2 1.0s. Chilltown, because I feel like that, based on how long I've waited already for that, I'm just going to wait for 1.0, and I'm interested in that game. Obviously, the update today confused me a little bit, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but the game in general I still think is pretty cool looking.
You'll auto fish 100%.
I'll probably auto fish. I don't think I'm auto farming. Like, I think that'll just annoy me more than anything. And Snacko, which is scheduled to probably have its 1.0 this year, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it'll be next year, but that could be very much in contention for Game of the Year as well. And I've definitely left it long enough that I will just be waiting for 1.0 with Snacko. Like, it's like, I'm obviously not going to play it until August, and then at that point, you know, it's probably only a few months.
Yeah.
They're zooming through the updates.
Yeah. They really are. They're getting there. My last one was Research Story. That was the other game that I've played before, but while it was in early access, and again, I'm really excited to see all the things that they've changed.
Did you play? Have you played any of their updates, or did you just play the first version?
I've just played the first version of both Lens Island and Research Story.
You stopped after the episode for Research Story.
Yep.
Cool. That'll be nice. You've got a lot to get into. I think that's the best. Unless you're like, this is the only game I play, I feel like people need to like get in on early access, play for it for a while, and then just like dip out. And I feel like people should probably do that for Disney Dreamlight Valley as well. It's like the updates are not huge, and so unless you like going back to a game regularly, then I feel like, yeah, play it in early access and then come back 2 years later when it comes out of early access, and it's like a whole different game.
Yeah, and I think I like it that way because you play it early access, and then I know that I know I enjoy it. I know I'm interested.
Yeah.
So it's just then taking the extra step to just revisit it. Which is good. I mean, there's definitely games that I've played in early access and I've been like, I get it. I'm never touching this again. So it's a mark in the good column for both Lens Island and Research Story and Coral Island that I've played them, and I'm going to replay them during the updates. Cool.
Nice. Cool. Well, that's everything on our lists. So that's a lot of stuff. Woo.
It was a lot of information. Yep.
Links. I'll maybe add links to everything we talked about. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'll at least list them. I'll list
Okay.
them in the show notes at the very least. Whether I'll actually link to all of the Steam pages or not is, we'll see how I feel, how lazy I am on Tuesday night. Codey, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at hikingbeagle, Beagle, and you can also find me on the Slack.
Nice. You can find me on mastodon.scott and on Twitter at thescottbot. Not that I do much on there, on either of them.
Yeah. That's why I stopped mentioning the other things that I was on, because I'm just like, I'm never on
I'm there. I retweet some things. That's about it. You can find the podcast on Tumblr and on Twitter at THSPod. We definitely post stuff there every week. At least once a week. Post the podcast. You can also, that's where you can send feedback as well, but you can also send feedback from our website, harvestseason.club. We have a feedback form there. And also links to everything on the podcast, including a link to our Patreon at patreon.com/thspod, where you can support the podcast and get access to our Slack, where we talk about nonsense, and also get access to our extra bonus episodes of the podcast. The most recent one of which was the Wholesome Direct. We talked about the Wholesome Direct. The one before that was me and Rona talking about the Stardew concert.
That was lovely. I love Rona.
It was great, wasn't it? I loved recording it. I think it was so fun.
All listeners were like, okay, we're ready to kidnap Rona.
In fact, that one I made public, that episode, the Stardew concert one. So you can go listen to it if you're not a patron. And we should have one coming out this weekend with me and Codey talking about the Nintendo Direct and the games that are in it that we haven't talked about on the podcast. There's quite a few that I'm excited about. So
cool.
We've got that as well. So I think that's everything. Thank you, Codey, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Mika the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Woo. Okay, that's enough because I am desperate for the toilet.